Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new season on ARW, or as some people may know, Anfield Road Wolves. Before I go any further, I'd just like to say a thank you to our new sponsors that have come on board for this season, Pain Solutions Lim. They've come on board to try help us push ARW onto bigger and better things for this season and hopefully seasons beyond. Now, to the show. Welcome to Off the Cuff, the first of the new season. And if today is anything to go by, it's going to be a long season. It's going to be a frustrating season. And not many of us will have any hair left come the end of it. Three victims today have come on with me. I have a lot of respect for them for doing it. I have Tino, I have Craig, and I have Keith. And I'm going to get straight into it. Craig, how fucking crazy was that?
It was like we were never away, Gav. It was like there was no pre-season. It was like there was no defensive coaching. It was the most Liverpool performance. I said last night on a pod I did that Arsenal's performance was the most Arsenal performance you'll ever see. Well, that was certainly one of the most Liverpool performances you'll ever see. And I can completely understand the frustration online. I can completely understand the frustration amongst fans. It just seems to be, unfortunately, same old, same old. We're good going forward, but we can't defend to save our lives. And it's an issue. We can't hide it. It's an issue. Don't know how we address it, but Klopp has to earn his money here.
Yeah, he does. I think we're about 7 minutes in, Keith, and first of all, we lose the ball we're in possession of. Henderson is flat-footed. Jan jumps in. There's a ball put in behind. Lovren's turned inside out and manages to get a slight block on a shot, which goes wide for the corner. And from the corner, the ball is swung in. The player moves about 5 or 6 feet. Nobody jumps for it. And he's a clean header on it. And Mignolet nearly saves it, actually, but it's the same old, isn't it?
Well, I think Watford took Liverpool by surprise. I don't think the players really realised that Okaka would be quite on his game as he was the first 15 minutes of that match. It has to be said. Okaka was awesome. He was bullying our defenders. Touch was great. He was all over the place. It was unrecognisable from the player I've seen previously. The goal itself, I mean, the first thing that everybody came out and started blaming was Lovren, was our centre-backs, was the defenders. But Okaka goes into Firmino's zone. If we're going to zonally mark, we've apparently been practicing zonal marking all summer. Then why doesn't Firmino just jump and head of the ball? It's his zone. It's not Lovren's fault. It's not Matip's fault. It's not Moreno's fault. It's not Henderson's fault. All the normal scapegoats. It's Bobby Firmino. So either he needs to be blasted for saying, look, at the end of the day, if you're going to go, you make sure that you win the damn header if it comes into within sight range, or look around and see what players are going to be running into the box and try and block them off. That drove me absolutely insane. He didn't even make an attempt to header it.
Yeah, I agree with you, but do you know what annoys me even more, Keith? When we set up in that corner, Mignolet is standing in goal. No, I'm not having a go Mignolet before anyone fucking jumps and down my throat.
What I'm saying is, I'll get round to that in a minute. Don't worry.
Between Mignolet and about 6 yards from goal, there is nobody, right? What I can't understand is why our starting position is on our 6-yard line. If you're going to mark zonely, why don't you stand on the fucking line? And when the ball comes in, you're running out to meet it rather than running backwards trying to stop somebody. It makes that area there just really, really gets to me. But Tino, I called this game on Thursday night. I think I went for a 2-2 draw because I did think we might be slow out of the blocks. Watford would be well up for it. And there'll be a little bit of mayhem going on. But what annoys me more is I would have taken a 1-1 draw rather than a 3-3 draw where we didn't get out of gear. They got a lucky goal. We managed to get one back and couldn't get a winner. But this today just opens up a whole lot of wounds, doesn't it?
It does. It's same old Liverpool. Albeit everybody was prior to the game saying that, our attack is one of the best in the league. And I was one of those people. Our defence is horrific. When I looked at the team sheet, I wasn't surprised, but I was concerned, especially with the inconsistencies with Lovren and Matip that was shown last season, and I'm more annoyed that we conceded the type of goals we conceded because the defending was poor, and as Keith mentioned about the zone marking, but nobody blocked the run. You see 2 or 3 players for the first goal that came through, and nobody blocked the run.
You see, but you can't block a run. If he's running into space, you can't block a run. If there's a player standing 2 yards from our goal directly in front of Mignolet, he's able to run out and block that run. That's what my thing is about it. We're not blocking runs because space can't block runs.
Yeah. Either way, it was shit defending. I think we can all agree on that. And the thing that you say, like, you're not going to go at Mignolet, but it was, 4 or 5 yards out? He clearly could have come and collected it. I'm not saying it's all Mignolet's fault, but I think it was just a mixture of poor defending, nobody talking to each other. And to be honest, Watford deserved it. You've got to give credit to Watford because they came out of the blocks very, very well. They were a lot more controlling in terms of chances than Liverpool. Liverpool started shockingly. Then you've got to give full credit. They were a lot brighter, better than Liverpool. Liverpool looked very laboured and very poor in possession, not really creating anything in the first 20, 25 minutes. So all credit to Okaka and the Watford team, but Liverpool was shocking.
Yeah, no, they were, but on Mignolet there, when you see the ball coming in, I think it's not high in the air when he heads it. The chap doesn't have to leap to head it. And I think Matip gets caught. I think it's Matip might get caught underneath it. So I don't know. Is there anybody there willing to blame Mignolet on that? I'm not, because I think he expects the defender that's close to the near post to get rid of it and gets under it. And secondly, one of the lads that's marking the zone or marking the man should be making more of an effort to get there. Is there anybody willing to blame Mignolet on it?
No, not even me, and I'm his harshest critic, and I will get to him. Don't worry.
Yeah, no, not at all. If Firmino jumps, it's a different story. And that's it. If all he had to do was jump, that was it. Jump, try and win the header. It's your zone. You're in the box. You're defending a header. Don't duck. Don't look around and try and see if you can look around and force the blame on somebody else because they're not tracking the run or they're not man marking. We don't do man marking, so I don't know why you're looking around thinking other people are going to do your job for you. Just jump.
Yeah, because you can even see in the slow motion replay after it, you can see Salah standing at the edge of the box, and as soon as it goes in, you can see how disgusted he is by the whole thing and how simple it was in its execution, and you could see how annoyed he gets. But look, we'll move on. Liverpool equalised with a fantastic goal, and it is a fantastic goal. Lovely play, Mane, Moreno, Jan, Mane again, and it's a great finish. That's what you want to see, Craig, isn't it? That's what you want Liverpool doing as much as they possibly can.
Yeah, 100%. But the problem is, Gav, we know we're damn well capable of that, and we know we're going to see plenty of that this season. And look, Mane's a stunning player. You can't take anything away from it. It was a beautiful finish, as you said, a beautiful goal altogether. But the problems are at the other end. So I've no issues, and I don't think any of us have any doubts that we're going to score a lot of goals this season. But we cannot look past the defending. We can talk about the goals individually today, and yeah, it was a great goal by Mane, but really what we need to drill into here in this podcast is the defending and what needs to be done. It's something that's inexcusable, and it has to, unfortunately, Klopp has to take a hell of a lot of responsibility for this, because the system it doesn't suit the players that we have, unfortunately, and we cannot defend for our lives.
Yeah, no, it's extremely worrying, and I hate to bring this old chestnut up again, Keith, but I've said it since the final whistle went against Middlesbrough that Virgil van Dijk is the player we should go and get and take all the money in a bag and give it all to Southampton, wherever we have. Listen, I don't even have to make a case after today. I just have to play the video of that 90 minutes. We can go on about Lovren, we can go on about Matip, they're this, they're that, they're everything else, but to me, I don't know if Van Dijk stops the first goal, or indeed the second goal, but I don't think we end up in them positions. There's so much hesitancy in that defence, it's untrue. And straight after the goal, or after their goal, is it 2 minutes later? And Watford got down. Tommy, look, you tell me what's wrong with that second goal and what we could do to improve.
For me, I'm going to have to slightly disagree with a lot of what people said in terms of the fact that I don't think it's just our centre-backs that are the issue, and Van Dijk coming in is going to make all the difference. My issue with Liverpool's 11 at times is that they do not have enough conviction in trying to win the ball. Too many times you've seen it, season in, season out, where a guy will have the ball and 3 Liverpool players will be surrounding him, and not one person will actually make the tackle and win the ball. And somehow they manage to wriggle themselves out with the ball, and all of a sudden the defenders are in a position where it's 3v3. There's not enough conviction in their defending. There's not enough nastiness in their tackling. They don't. At the end of the day, take the risk. Klopp promised us from last season, from the preseason, that we were going to be much more aggressive. We were going to be less light. We were going to be less nice, because we've got one of the best fair play records in the country over the last couple of years. And for me, that's where the issue lies. It's a systematic issue with the players as a whole. They do not win the ball when they put themselves in for tackles, and then other people come in, and all of a sudden the press gets beat, and then the defenders, whoever's playing centre back, you're not going to be able to deal with situations where there's so much space for the opposition to run into, as what happened with Watford's second goal. There were so many opportunities that Liverpool could have won the ball before Watford get into some seriously dangerous positions. After that, it's just a joke. And yeah, again, we can blame Lovren, we can blame Matip for not ultimately clearing the ball, not do this, that, and the other. But at the end of the day, they are being put in situations where the press gets beat because there's no person that's actually winning the ball. That is the problem. Be nasty. Take the man out if you have to. Give the free kick in the middle of the park. Just don't allow 3 of our players to consistently get beat by Holebas, for example, who's beating 3 men in the left-hand side of the place and then whipping in crosses. I'd love to go back and watch that game and show examples of where this happens. And I think it is a systematic issue. Is Van Dijk going to be the answer? Van Dijk might be more of a stronger presence. He might be a leader. He might be a voice. He might be better in the air. He might be putting in tackles. But Van Dijk, and you partner him with Matip, they're not going to be able to deal in 2v2 situations when Emre Can, Mo Salah and Henderson don't win the ball because, Cleverly's managed to jink past them somehow because none of them are realising what they're doing. That for me is the biggest problem.
Keith, while you're talking there, it's something's popped into my head, and I've thought this for a little while, and I think what you said is quite nearly confirmed it for me. Do you think when we're defending, we're thinking of, when we're actually in the art of defending, do you think we're thinking about attacking? And what I mean by that is, when, say, pick 3, Salah, Henderson, and Jan, and decide to gang up on a Watford player, instead of just putting in one big tackle and we'll see where we go from there, they're trying to nick the ball, and they're already thinking about, when we nick this is what positions we need to be in, rather than just winning the ball first and then going from there. Do you think that's the case? Do you think that might be happening?
Here is a perfect example of what you said. The lead up to that goal, okay? Moreno and Emre Can in the corner. Instead of Emre Can just hoofing that ball out, he decides he wants to be a bit cute and play a back pass, thinking that Moreno's behind him. He concedes the throw it and puts us in danger. The ball is still in our area. The ball is still in our zone. It's in a dangerous zone. Instead of hoofing it up and then say, do you know what, lads, let's hoof it up and let's move out of our box a little bit, what he's deciding to do is exactly what you said, Gab. Let's be a little bit cute. Let's play a little back heel so then Moreno can get the ball and then I'll run into the space and then we can play ourselves out of possession. Same thing when sometimes instead of going and just crunching the man, they want to try and almost dummy the ball so then they can get the ball in possession and then pass it again. I completely agree with you, Gab.
Yeah, no, it's just something that I've thought about for a while, and just when you're talking to me there about 3 of them kind of three of them converging on somebody but not doing anything, that just came back to me. But Tino, it goes 2-1, and we're kind of praying that we can get something before half time, and get in at half time and literally lick our wounds a little bit, but it doesn't happen. I wouldn't say that dressing room was a nice place to be at half time, would you?
I completely agree with what Keith has said. We haven't got enough conviction at all in what we're doing. Our tackles, going for the ball. The 2 weak in midfield, albeit before the game, everybody was saying that, the three-man midfield of Gini, Chan and Henderson, the work hard, they're really solid. They do the fuck all. Yes, they can do the odd good pass and nice flicks and skills and things like that along with the attackers, but we were piss poor at winning the ball. At half time, I hope Klopp had have gone absolutely apeshit at them. I think he will have. Because we needed a reaction. We were absolutely shocking. A lot of the time, some of the players were caught ball watching. Even before we got the equaliser, there was a chance where Cleverley got down the right-hand side and floated the ball in, albeit Okaka was offside. Matip was just stood there in no man's land doing fuck all. He was literally just watching the ball and just didn't know what to do. And it's I think it's a disgrace considering all the players we've been linked with and players we're trying to sort out our defence and our defensive problems, we've got fucking nowhere. We've got absolutely nowhere. And it's just frustrating. We can play really, really good football at times, and then we completely let ourselves down.
Yeah, no, you have a fair point. We are letting ourselves down with stupid stuff. And Craig, were you expecting changes at half time, or did the lack of changes show you that Klopp, although might have been annoyed, he was willing to give them 10, 15 minutes to go out and prove that they could be a lot better than that?
I was expecting absolutely no changes at half time, and here's why, Gav. I looked at the bench before the game and I thought, that's a piss poor bench. To be starting off the season with a bench so weak is inexcusable. Now, I understand Sturridge was out, Lallana was out. What was up with Robertson? Is he injured? Has he picked up a knock or?
No, there was no injury there. I think I don't think from the words that Klopp has come out with, I think he wants them to get a little bit more time to get used to our system and probably fitness as well.
Well, that's inexcusable as well. He's had enough of the pre-season. He should be on the bench. It's unacceptable that those were the options available to Klopp today from the bench, because there was nothing. Origi came on. No, Origi came on when we were 3-2 up, but Gav, you have talked a lot and I agree with you. Origi is not going to change the game for us if we need to do it. I just can't get over it that we're starting the season with the squad that we have, with the injuries that we've already picked up, and that's what's available to Klopp to change the game if needs be at half-time. We got lucky. We went out. It was a beautiful ball from Lovren, I have to say. What a ball that was to Firmino. Like, round of applause for Lovren. Firmino lobs it over the keeper. Salah goes in and scores actually, was that the third goal or the second goal?
That was the third goal, yeah.
It was a penalty, sorry. The penalty came in first. Clear penalty. Salah done exactly what we'd hope. Goes across the keeper, drags him out. Clear penalty. Don't know what took the ref so long to make the decision. Bobby steps up, knocks it in. It's 2-2. We get out of jail. And then we do what we're capable to do, Gav. We go on a 15-20 minute spell after that where we look unstoppable. We get the third goal. I've just talked through that there. Great ball from Lovren. Beautiful finish after a cheeky chip from Firmino. But from there on in, that game should have been 4-5, 6-2. We should have put it to bed, and that's what really pissed me off today. I had conversations with lads online. I was talking to Phil and he said 3-2, what do you think? And I said this is going to finish 3-3 if we don't get this fourth goal. And I'd like to talk about the fourth goal or their equaliser before we get off the pod at some point, if that's alright. But this
we will.
This was just absolute. It's a headache for Klopp. Well, it's partly his fault as well. I just cannot believe that was the bench we had on the open day of the season. There was just nothing there to change the game if we needed to.
Yeah, no, it shows to me that if we're after Van Dijk and Keita still, we need to make one, if not two, of them happen, and another one after that as well. It's blatantly obvious. I don't like having a big, knee-jerk reaction to things, but I have spoken about Origi for a long time, and I can't understand how he gets on the pitch before Solanke, judging on pre-season and the minutes they've had and the performances that have been turned in. No, he won't change a game for you. And I think he's at his worst when you're trying to protect the lead. I think he's absolutely atrocious when you're trying to protect the lead. Because when he has to be the out ball, when you're under a little bit of pressure and you want to play on the break, I think he's atrocious. And they're probably strong words. But that's just how I feel about Origi and have for a long time. Lads, Craig has gone through the 2 goals. And to be honest with you, the penalty's a penalty. He sticks it away well. The 3rd goal is a really good ball again, good chip, and Salah is motoring through the middle and gets there. But this podcast isn't going to go on for an hour because I haven't got the patience to do an hour after today. I'm not annoyed. I'm just more frustrated. But Keith, we're going to go to this equaliser. What's your take on it? And why did we put ourselves in this position into 4 minutes into injury time? Why did we allow ourselves into this position?
I think first of all, it was a silly foul to concede by Joe Gomez. Absolutely stupid foul to concede on the left-hand side. That gave away the free kick, which was then cleared out for a corner. It was needless. You're in a situation where at the end, jockey your defender, close up the space, wait for another man to come in. Don't go and just lunge in and take a man out in dangerous situations. It's what we used to laugh about when Lucas used to give stupid free kicks away in key moments of the game. So that was stupid. Secondly, Gini Wijnaldum, I love the man, but I'd love to know if he genuinely suffers from homesickness when he plays away from home, because the Gini Wijnaldum that plays at Anfield and the Gini Wijnaldum that plays away from home are 2 different people. First of all, he had the opportunity to bury that game. Okay, that was a clear-cut chance. He could have taken 1 touch and finished it when Mane passed it into him, and that would have been game over. That shot Gini wouldn't have done that at Anfield. Secondly, his attempt to clear that ball was terrible, and it goes back to the point I made earlier on: conviction. If you're going to head the ball, just get rid of it. Have conviction in yourself that you're just going to lever that ball, even if it means that you might have to take in the chest and volley it out, or if you, at worst, head it out for another corner. What he was doing, I don't know. That's what caused the whole furor. In saying that, Britos is offside. No question about it. Britos is offside. When Richarlison jumps down that ball and takes a shot, Britos is clearly impeding Mignolet in an offside position. So for me, on a personal level, as much as we're annoyed at the way we've allowed these goals to go in, and I don't like doing it often, and you won't hear me do it often in podcasts throughout the season, but the referees have to look at themselves a little bit there. How is it possible that Britos was allowed to block off Mignolet in that offside position? So someone said to me that apparently the ball went backwards, so he wasn't offside, but Richarlison then goes and takes it to score. So Britos is clearly interfering with play. So it should have been offside. So I would say, and I don't like using this word often, but I feel we were slightly robbed. But that all could have been avoided if Wijnaldum deals with that situation better.
And again, Wijnaldum in his own head is probably thinking where he has to put this header to benefit us the most, when in truth, the best thing to do is get rid of that ball as far away as you can and forget about where it's going to drop. Just get it away. I'm convinced we're thinking about the next phase of play before we even deal with this phase of play. That's just the way I think. Tino, it ends 3-3, and we're all a bit gutted, let's be honest about it. But would you have taken a point before the game?
No, to be honest. I think I think 3 points was a must. Obviously, I want us to win every game, and I'm utterly disappointed. Based on the way we've played, I think a draw is fair result given how Watford played, especially in the first half. But before the game, I wanted 3 points because Watford, no offence to them, but they're a bottom half of the Premier League side, and I wanted us to get over that struggle to beat the bottom half of the Premier League. That almost that stupid stat that we literally just can't beat crap teams. And I think at the start of the season, 3 points in the bag straight away was a must. And I'm utterly disappointed. But yeah, all credit to Watford for the way they played. But yeah, I'm shocked, disappointed, but not surprised really, given the way we played.
Yeah, fair enough. Craig, I think you called a win for Liverpool the other night. So you're not going to be happy with the draw, and I think it's the manner of the draw, is it, that's getting to you more than the actual dropping the 2 points? It's the manner of it.
That's exactly it, Gav. As you said, a 1-1 draw or something along those lines with a bit of frustration at the way we played and we didn't get out of gear would have been a lot more palatable. But
yeah, or a goalkeeper making 4 worldies, something along them.
Absolutely. Yeah. But what we came and what we seen was our biggest fears probably, and what we didn't want to see this season. We would much rather Liverpool going out and winning games 1-0 or drawing low scores. We don't want to be conceding 3 on the opening day of the season in the manner that we did. And look, I like a little Mignolet rant, but today I do actually have some fair grievances with him. Again, distribution with his feet, horrendous. Distribution from his hands at one point, horrendous. And whilst that third goal was not Mignolet's fault, he could have cleared that ball. He could have taken ball and man before the player tapped it in. He had his chance to wrap his arms around and push that away, and he was weak. It was just unacceptable from start to finish from the entire defence today. The only positive signs was, I suppose, Lovren's beautiful through ball. That was all I can take from a positive side today from the defence. I personally don't think that Van Dijk is going to be a solution. He will certainly be one hell of an improvement, but for me it's a bit deeper than just buying one player. I think there's a whole system here that needs to be addressed, and as you perfectly pointed out, Gav, a mentality about the way we defend that needs to be addressed. And well, I think Van Dijk, if he comes in, will address some of those issues. I don't think it's going to be enough to stop us from still being iffy at the back. So, well, some positive looking forward for the rest of the season, buddy, and I can see plenty of goals and plenty of exciting games, and it is only the first game, and a point is better than no points, but it's the manner of it. I just can't keep repeating myself. It's the manner of that draw that's so frustrating.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like I did call a draw on the Thursday, on the ARW Weekly there on Thursday. I said 2-2 because I thought it'd be a little bit of mayhem, a little bit of unluckiness, and maybe we'll have a bit of genius in the game. We ended up with a bit more of that, a bit more of all of them, which made it 3-3. We take the point and move on. You have a fair point. Maybe one player doesn't change it, but you see, I think it does, and I tell you why. If you take Lovren out of that team and you put, say, Van Dijk in, you also need to bring Robertson in. And the reason is because when you put Moreno and Lovren together, they take one look at each other and go, oh, fuck, anything could happen here today. And it is that mentality that they're not comfortable with each other. They're not confident in each other. I think if you put a Robertson in there fresh and, dying to play with a Van Dijk that's massive money and wants to impress, I think Robertson's enthusiasm gets him through, and Van Dijk's experience can talk him as well. It's not only one player.
Do you think that Klein walks back into the back four, by the way? That's
Klein, I told you, I said this before the season. Klein is number one right back for Liverpool. There's no doubt about that. 100% is not. And look, you're going to have to take what you get with Trent. He's young, he's raw, he's trying, he's learning. So we're going to have to take that. But there's no excuse for the other lads. They're experienced. They're there a good few years. Matip's second year, but he has plenty of experience from Germany. But like Craig, you said, it's the manner of it. And if you're signing Robertson and you are going to get Van Dijk, you play them too. The other two lads they don't have any belief in each other, and that's what I think is a problem. But it is a point. It's better than no points. But Keith, when we come down to it, basically we scored 3 goals today. The first one was absolutely breathtaking. The second one was where Watford couldn't deal with the pace for Salah to get to that ball. The third one is a decent ball. They could probably look at themselves a little bit because they're a bit square. But from there, Firmino's touch is beautiful. The lovely chip, and Salah's doing everything he follows in. But when you look at the 3 goals, we can see it. It's something that has to be stamped out right now, isn't it? If we want to go anywhere, looking at Tuesday already.
No, absolutely. I mean, the thing is, if you take a step back and kind of compare it to last season, we beat Arsenal last season, but we did concede 3 goals as well, and then we went on a nice little run. So, I trust that we can. I trust that Klopp has the ability to manage this out of us and make us solid. But as I said before, I think it's just maybe it's just it's just one of those days, start of the season, and it's just been a blitz. Everyone, everyone's kind of, still finding their feet, and Watford have just said, you know what, you've come to our ground, we're just going to give it all we can get, and took us on the hop. You're right about Lovren and Moreno. I think that them two together is just a recipe for disaster. The problem is that they do things sometimes that really kind of just invite pressure onto us, which invite these situations, which invite more mistakes. That has to be ironed out straight away. On the positive side, hey, our front three have all got a goal each today. Mane, Firmino, Salah all scored today. And, there was cries from certain section of the fan base saying we need a striker. Hey, if they continue that, then I'm going to be more than happy with how the season is going to go ahead. It's very, very early days. I don't think we're the only top 6 team that's suffering at this moment in time. Chelsea have just had Gary Cahill sent off, and Sam Vokes has put Burnley 1-0 up at Stamford Bridge. Last night, Arsenal's conceded 3 goals at Leicester. It could be just the fact that it's the start of season syndrome, and everyone's taking some time to shake up the cobwebs from sunning it out in Santorini. That is the hope. So as much as today's been a bit of a disappointment, I really hope that, Jurgen Klopp can, again, like he did last season, try and fix the issues, try and address the problems as quickly as possible. And we go out to Hoffenheim next week and we put in a solid professional performance and get the victory, even if it means winning 1-0.
Keith, here's something that's scary. There was 10 goals scored in the Premier League before a goalkeeper made a save.
It's ridiculous. If you're a centre-back and you value your trades, would you really want to come to the Premier League right now? I don't think so. It's ridiculous.
And you see, that's why I went with a draw and a high-scoring draw, because I think the first day of the season, anything can fucking happen. You talk about teams getting ready. There's nothing like a really competitive Premier League where the fans are up for it. Anything can happen. I wouldn't... Listen, if West Ham went and beat United 4-0 at Old Trafford tomorrow, I would take nothing out of it. It's just the way it is. Today, I'm just going on instances and incidents and stuff that you see, which has happened before, so you can have some sort of semblance of, consistency about it. But look, I think overall, lads, we were disappointed. We'll take the point instead of none. We should have had 3, but that's the way it goes. There's things to work on. There is positives. Just going around the 3 is really quickly. Craig, who was your man of the match?
Tough call. Probably gonna give it to Mane.
Yeah, okay. Tino, who's your man of the match?
It's got to be one of the front 3. I'd probably go for Mino because I think he had a big hand in most of the goals that we scored. But one player I think who needs a shout out is, as we've mentioned earlier, Trent Alexander-Arnold. I think he coped quite well today. But yeah, I'd have to go for Mino.
Okay, and Keith, I'll give you the last shout on it.
Well, I'm going to pick the 3 out of 3 with Salah. I thought the second half was a fantastic performance. His movement is incredible. And once we start to learn how we play, once we start to recognise that and spot him, because there's many times today where if we just released the ball a little bit earlier, Salah was through. But he really showed signs that he's going to be a fantastic player for Liverpool.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, lads, we're going to leave it there. I'd like to thank Keith. I'd like to thank Tino and Craig for joining me. Craig will be back on Monday night with a Worldcast, and we'll be back on Tuesday night with an off the cuff after the Hoffenheim game. ARW Weekly will be on next Thursday. Keep an eye out on our YouTube channel, ARW Now, and for some content during the week there as well. I also want to give, as always, a shout to our design man, Connor, who's continuously banging out logos and different things for us. Check him out on Twitter at Design by Connors. Sorry, got that all wrong. At Designs by Connor. And look, enjoy the rest of your weekend. It's a point. It's better than nothing. We move on. We will get better. And yeah, see ya. Have a good one.